Good morning. Another excellent Telegram session for members of footballtradingprofits.com. A couple of correct score plays as well yesterday. Atletico Bilbao and Sevilla. We went 1-0, 2-0 in the half-time score markets. Atletico Bilbao dominance, just looking for that single goal. But we got two, and at very decent odds. If you look at the 2-0 odds, 34. How about that for a bit of value? All at footballtradingprofits.com. Telegram service. Santa Clara Moreirense. Did I lose? Well, members will know if I lost or not. Insurance covered this. That's all I'll say. So break even on the Santa Clara match. Celta Vigo and Getafe, a day of speculating. Celta Vigo were priced to be competitive at home. Their last season's home form was excellent, but this epitomises the opening day of the season. You just don't know, do you? 2-0 lead for Getafe was short enough odds for me to get involved in. Look at the liability. You're not going to lose much. But you have to dip your toe in, otherwise you won't profit. Similar story, Chelsea and Palace, leave it until the very death. Now, I told members a really good strategy where you cover the 0-0 at half time. Then you sit on it. As long as this remains 0-0, the draw odds get lower. You can lay the draw odds to the same liability, but with a bigger reward at lower odds. I got involved late on at 109, 106 to create about a 12-1 return if we get a late goal. Brest and Lille, again, speculating. Keep that liability low in matches you're not that sharp about because it's the opening day of the season. This was, I think, a 3-3 late on or a 2-3. Vejle and Midtjylland, my second correct score play. I gave you Atletico Bilbao Sevilla. I also gave you Midtjylland 0-2 against Vejle. Excellent call. As long as we get the 0-1, then we're in line for that 0-2. It did come thanks to a Vejle red card late on, and they could be a side to follow Vejle in the Danish Super League. They seem to have a pattern against the big guns of being competitive right until the last 20 minutes, where maybe it's form that sees them wrong. HJK Helsinki against Haka, nice profit there from HJK, simple as you like. And Feyenoord as well. Didn't cash out of this one. Should have done. Really just to lock in the profit because the profit came before half time. And that's what we're after. So an excellent session for members of footballtradingprofits.com yesterday. Plenty of green screens. And any losses that there were kept to a bare minimum. Today I've got very little or nothing to offer you research-wise. Opening day, Leeds newly promoted against Everton. You can't discount Leeds. Couldn't discount Sunderland. And they got that win against an established Premier League side. Everton are going to be woefully boring under David Moyes. Probably fixated on that defence. But the gap in the leagues is quite clear, isn't it? There are some other matches today, Danish Super League, etc. Premier League 2 and Professional Development League. Great pair of leagues for goals. If you're focusing on over 2.5 goals, Premier League 2, Professional Development League will be superb. Finished by Liga in Sweden and Norway. I'm not going to be researching. 1.95 the favourite. I will look at this in play if I do play. French League 2, Le Mans, newly promoted, I believe, against Montpellier. I've left the German Cup alone. Up to you if you want to play it or not. It's very difficult deciphering who's up for it or not. Similar story. Coppa Italia, we've got some familiar names. Udinese, Samp, Doria, Verona, Torino from Serie A. Dutch Eerste Divisie, bit young in the season for me there. Oberliga, and I'm not going to research at this stage. Now we've got elite leagues with us. But we've got a couple of odds-on favourites. Kongsvinger against Mjøndalen should be a standout there. Mjøndalen are awful ordinarily. Gil Vicente against Porto. Both sides were leading 2-0 in their opening matches, both sides getting a 2+ goal win to nil. Porto priced to be more competitive than Gil Vicente today. Again, I've got very little or nothing to offer you form-wise. No point me pretending that I've got anything to pass on, because I don't. And you've seen how I've worked this weekend, very cautiously and very patiently. I will probably be waiting for the likes of Porto, the reliable sides. Reliable as in cocking things up, Mjorn Darling. This would be how I would approach today. Leeds and Everton, I don't have a clue. Simply don't. You just don't know, do you? And that's it, really. We've got some peripheral leagues which are all just covered up. The Allsvenskan Värnamo against Degerfors, 2.2 the favourite. Turkish Super League, have a quick look. Trabzonspor, 2.55 the favourite. So it's a typical Monday. And it's always a good day to take off. But for those of you who liked what you saw, the green screens yesterday, when I get it right, I do get it right. Don't forget, this is all in proportion to the amount staked. So I'll try to keep my liability as low as possible and just keep ticking over with the greens. So that would be near enough a 3+ figure return for a first day of the season on a Sunday, which is pretty solid. So if you fancy a bit of that, we've got that excellent 2025 offer on at the moment. 14-day free trial. Got absolutely nothing to lose. You'll learn a lot, and you can take it with you if you don't decide to take up the trial. There's so much to offer you, and I hope you can take it up, because this is where it starts getting busy. Next Saturday, next Sunday, the Italians are with us. Ciao. And the Bundesliga is with us. Don't mention the war. I mentioned it once, but I think I got away with it all right. So the Bundesliga, Italian Serie A, Spanish Primiera Liga, English Premier League, Dutch Eredivisie, French Ligue 1, Portuguese Primeira Liga, Greek Super League, Austrian Bundesliga, Swiss, I've mentioned that, haven't I? Swiss Super League. All of these leagues coming on board. The elites I will be focusing primarily on, and what I call the old reliables. That's the kind of teams you can rely upon, as I've already alluded to, the likes of Porto and the likes of Kongsvinger, or taking on Mjorn Darling. Look for the old reliables. That's what I was doing yesterday and over the weekend. Teams that you know, and you know you can trust. For example, I wouldn't have taken on that Arsenal lead against Manchester United because of their solid defence. And we can't trust Man United, can we? Although looking at the highlights, and you can watch the highlights now for free on YouTube, I would recommend doing so, because it just gives you a quick handle in to see how the dodge pots like Man United performed. And it was typical of the last two head-to-heads, wasn't it? A single goal for Arsenal away from home, either going to finish 1-1 or 0-1. So today, day off for me. Looking forward to it, although I am still moving house. It's a pain in the because I've got all of these possessions, and my tie is not the greatest in the world. So trying to get from here to there is a bit of a Krypton factor. Have a great day. Do join the 2025 offer. And if you haven't joined, sign up for the e-letter. We've got plenty to offer you for the e-letter if you haven't joined already. 2025 free resources. All of these links are in the description below on the YouTube channel. And please, please, please subscribe to YouTube. Live streams starting next week. Don't subscribe to Terry Tibbs. Those of you fans of Phone Jacker, subscribe to Football Trading Profits. And those are the extended highlights. They're well worth watching, because you might get a handle on the Southampton goals or the Sunderland goals. Were they deserved against West Ham, for example? That's a comment on the YouTube channel. Great stuff, says Michael, which is great to hear from. Thank you very much, Michael. So please join at Football Trading Profits. Subscribe now and you'll be ready for the live streams, which will be beginning on Saturday. And you can also watch the e-letters as well. There's plenty of important information there. One thing that did cross my mind yesterday is to start recording 1-1s, because I think 1-1s are vulnerable. This could maybe not have been a 1-1. So I'm going to start looking through. This could have been a 2-0 to 2-1. So I'll be looking at 1-1 specifically, targeting, I'll be recording the time of the 1-1. When was the earliest period it was 1-1, for example, here? And did it see a winner? So that was 1-1 34th minute. So you'd have made an assumption, rightly or wrongly, to expect something second half. But not quite, as you can see. So it's just something that entered my mind yesterday. I see so many 1-1s end. Can we just focus or target these 1-1s in a specific manner that will provide us with a low risk, high return play? So have a think yourself if you've got any ideas, like Michael did and like Pluto did. Please do leave a comment, because you're very shy. I don't hear from anybody. I don't know what's going on. You just keep to yourselves, and that's fine. But if you've got any ideas with this 1-1, you can see maybe last glance Austria Vienna. Obviously, it's the mini version of the Desmond Tutu, isn't it? Both teams have scored. Both teams could be up for the win. You can see these 1-2s here. A couple of 1-1s here, but I did lay late on in this one because Southampton won their opening match with 2 late goals. So have a think about 1-1. Is there any way that we can tackle it? Perhaps laying the correct score. But the problem with that is you're going to get a high liability if it's an early 1-1. So have a think. You won't be hearing from me today. It's my day off, and it's a deserved day off, providing you with some excellent calls all day yesterday, right up until 7 p.m. with that Atletico Bilbao signing off with a 2-0 34 odds winner. As I say, if you fancy a bit of that, come on over to the 2025 offer. And it'd be great to see you in time for all 5 of the Elite Leagues next Saturday, and for the first live stream next Saturday, which I think you'll enjoy if you come along. Everything is set up in front of your eyes. You'll see how I focus on things. You'll see the websites used. You'll see the statistical data used in play. You'll see how I use momentum graphs, how I use the first 5 minutes or the last 5 minutes worth of stats just to confirm whether there's an angle in, how we approach late plays, how do we look at 0-0s at half time, how do we potentially exploit them second half. The sit on it technique, the Fonz, hey, sit on it. That's for the second half draw. So there's plenty to talk about, and don't forget the tennis as well. So have a great day. If you are joining, it would be great to see you. 2-week free trial, nothing to lose. We're on form at the moment, so catch me while I'm hot. 30 quid here for minimal liability. Look at that, £5 liability, 33 quid profit there. Full profit there. Full profit there. So 31, 61, 71, 81, 91, 94, 104, 114, 124, £122 minus the odd 4 quid here. So you fancy a bit of that on a Sunday? Not too shabby, is it? All tax free. Maximum liability will be about £40. Have a great day. Good luck if you're playing this evening. It's in-play stats or not at all. It is a coupon which can be fleshed out with all of these other peripheral leagues like Premier League 2 and professional development, etc. But don't worry, we're going to have an excellent weekend coming up. League 1 tomorrow, so I better get my skates on for that. I will be up and about for League One tomorrow for members of footballtradingprofits.com and League Two. Again, it won't be researched. My initial way of playing these leagues is to target odds-on favourites. I have to rely on the market and the in-play stats because these are such unreliable teams. Yes, it's English football, but it's not a good trading vehicle. And indeed, just look at the coupon for English League Two tomorrow. 2.3, 2.63, 2.3, 2.45, 2.6, 2.55. All of this is telling you that the market can't pick a winner in English League Two. Can't pick a favourite. These are such high odds for match odds. So that in itself tells you that it might not be a good trading day in English League Two tomorrow. But we'll have an initial glimpse at these leagues. So with that, Real Madrid returning against Osasuna as well. That's going to be fantastic. Alexander Arnold at Real Madrid now. Vinicius Junior et al. And as we go through the week, Champions League qualifiers. So we've got some of the big guns who weren't involved in the earlier Champions League qualifiers, but now the big boys are in. Celtic, Basel, Copenhagen, all league winners. Bodo Glimt, Sturm Graz, Fenerbahce got through that last match against Feyenoord. Well done. And Benfica, who we know took Nice apart. So this is going to be an absolute fantastic clash. And I would be favouring Benfica here myself over the two legs potentially. But you never know with a special one. He has been there, done that, got the T-shirt, etc. So moving on. Europa League qualifiers. First or second leg we have to determine. I think these are first legs. A lot of familiar names. Midtjylland, KUPS, Brann, Malmo, all from Sweden or from Scandinavia. Panathinaikos, done by Rangers over two legs. So some of these sides have been in the Champions League earlier on and they find themselves down here. Braga, too efficient last night. I was one of my reliables, but they scored 2 goals very quickly. Likely to take Lincoln Red Imps to town, to be perfectly honest with you. Then on Friday is another day off for me, and you can tell why. It's not the sharpest coupon on the planet because it's just before all the big boys. Vukovar, newly promoted. West Ham against Chelsea, another London derby. The last one ended 0-0. Derby against Bristol City, too tough to call. Paris Saint-Germain, not Paris FC. This is the proper Paris Saint-Germain. Likely to be extremely tough to beat this season. Bayern Munich as well. The fact that these are playing on a Friday suggests we might have Champions League football coming up on the Monday and the Tuesday. Just watch out for that. You'll notice that throughout the season, some really big names will be playing on a Friday. And they could be involved in the Champions League the next week. So watch out for that. Not at this stage. The even bigger boys aren't out yet at this stage. We're talking your Man Cities, etc. So these are the second legs. Watch out for these teams this weekend. They might underperform. Particularly Rangers, who have had 2 consecutive draws now and given away the SPL title. Quite simply. Because of this European distraction. Although they're doing very well. They've got an excellent chance against Club Brugge, who were pretty impressive against Red Bull Salzburg. But that's looking on to the future. Day off for me now. I better shut up and have a day off, for goodness sake. Don't forget the profits are flowing. The entry point, well, takes all the risk away from you. So come along. It'd be great to see you. footballtradingprofits.com. Take up the 2025 offer. I'm in form. Finding new strategies each weekend as well. Time to join. Have a great day and I look forward to seeing you at footballtradingprofits.com at some point.